Mike, thank you. This is new tonight, a local story that's generating national headlines. A Colorado Springs mom says her son was sent home from school because of the patches on his bag, including one depicting the Gadsden flag.
Now, that yellow flag depicting a rattlesnake with the words "Don't tread on me" is seen as a symbol of unity by many, but some people view it as a symbol of hate. We're taking a deep dive look at the issue tonight. Lindsay Jensen begins our coverage.
This all started when Jaiden Rodriguez, a 7th grader here at Vanguard School, was told he had to remove all of his patches on his backpack or not come back to class.
I was like, this is wild that this is happening. Is this America?
Jaiden Rodriguez says her son was kicked out of class for patches on his backpack, specifically the "Don't Tread on Me" flag. Why? Check out this video she took talking with a school admin.
The reason that they do not want the flag, the reason we do not want the flag displayed is due to its origins with slavery and slave trade.
They didn't want racism on school campus, and I told them that that was very subjective.
That video is gaining momentum on X, formerly Twitter, with more than 5.5 million views.
I do want him to stand up for his rights too, and I don't want to say like, no, you know, bow down to the government. Like, just, it's been tough. It's been a tough call to just let him do what he wants and say he's at that age to make his own decisions.
Vanguard Charter School is part of Harrison School District 2. In a statement, the district said in part, quote, "The patch in question was part of a half a dozen other patches of semi-automatic weapons. The student has removed the semi-automatic patches." The school says it allowed Jaiden to return to class and keep his "Don't Tread on Me" flag patch on his backpack. But Eden says she picked him up from school today with all of his patches. And I met up with them at a grocery store to verify that. So you got all the patches still on there?
Yes. I don't plan to take any off.
A lawyer tells me, as a public charter school, requiring him to remove any patches is a violation of his First Amendment rights.
Students do not leave their First Amendment rights at the schoolhouse door. That's what the U.S. Supreme Court has said. And so that's the test that must be met. It has to be a significant disruption to the educational mission of the school in order for the school to regulate the student's speech. And I'm deeply skeptical that that's true here.
Colorado Governor Jared Polis weighed in on this.
You know, I think it's great when students express themselves in different ways, as long as they're not creating a disruptive environment. Certainly the Gadsden flag is a great iconic American flag. Other kids have LGBT flags on their backpacks. Others have flags of major political parties.
Eden says she's proud of her son, standing up for himself.
Rodriguez says Jaiden missed about 3 days of school over this. She says this is not over and has been in contact with an attorney. In Colorado Springs, I'm Lindsay Jensen for News 5.
Lindsay, thanks. And after meeting with Eden and Jaiden to confirm the patches were still on his backpack, we reached out to the district for response. The communication director tells us there are new patches that were not on all of his backpacks before. It's important to note the Gadsden flag patch is still on that backpack. We heard from Governor Polis and Lindsay's story, while 3rd Congressional Republican District Representative Lauren Boebert also weighing in tonight. She sent a tweet on X saying, in part, quote, "The Gadsden flag has been flown since 1775 as a symbol of the American Revolution. This is a direct attack on his freedom of speech," end quote.
The Vanguard School is chartered under Harrison School District 2. News 5's Maggie Bryan is joining us live in studio with a deeper look into what makes a charter school different than a public school. Maggie.
Diane, the biggest thing to keep in mind is that charter schools are not private schools. They are publicly funded and tuition free, just like public schools. Now, charter schools have to meet the same curriculum requirements set by the state's Department of Education, but they do have more flexibility when it comes to how the material is taught. For example, some charter schools can choose different styles of teaching, like project-based learning or small group instruction. Many parents choose charter schools because they have a choice in how their children learn the material. Now, each charter school has their own board of directors. This means decisions can be made quicker and easier versus a board of directors that governs a whole school district. School district boards are elected by district voters, whereas a charter school board is selected by the school population. And when it comes to certain policies and procedures, charter schools like the Vanguard School can create their own. The school says where certain Vanguard policies do not exist, Harrison School District 2 policies will be consulted. Reporting in studio, I'm Maggie Bryan, News 5.
Maggie, thanks. Now, according to Britannica, the Gadsden flag's origins go back to 1775, first used by Commodore Esek Hopkins, the first U.S. naval commander-in-chief. Britannica says the rattlesnake symbol featured on the flag, it was a popular symbol of unity for the American colonies during that time. Then around 2009, again, according to Britannica, some people started to associate it with racism as a result of its use by some members of the Tea Party movement at that time. 2014, a black mechanic with the Postal Service filed an EEOC complaint over a coworker wearing a hat with that flag's design on it. Now, the EEOC ruled that the design, although not a racist symbol, is, quote, sometimes interpreted to convey racially tinged messages in some contexts. Because of that, according to Britannica, investigations can be launched when complaints are filed per the Civil Rights Act.
The family at the center of this first brought their concerns to our attention yesterday when they stopped by our news station. We took their information and then followed our normal editorial process to vet the story and discuss how we wanted to approach it. Ultimately, our management team assigned it to reporter Lindsay Jensen to look into. If you have a news tip to share, we want to hear from you. The best way to reach us is through our email. You can send your tips to news@KOAA.com. It is a shared inbox that everyone in our newsroom has access to. Every tip is read and considered. We appreciate your help telling the story of our communities. Mike.
Warmer